Hello, this is our review for our Unit 3 assessment. Let's start off by reading the question and seeing what important information we have. Lynn's family has completed 70% of a trip. They've traveled 35 miles. How far is the trip? All right, so Lynn's family is traveling, and 70% is how far they've traveled. They also have traveled 35 miles. All right, so let's see what information we're given with our double number line. Do we know how far the trip is yet? No, so we don't know the total amount of the trip. That's what we don't have yet. But I see that, what are we going to be skip counting by? Let's see, we have 10 sections to get to 100. So 100 divided by 10 sections. How much is that? 100 divided by 10, or you could think of 10 times what equals 100, and that's 10. All right, so I'm going to skip counting by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And I know at 70%, I'm going to have already traveled 35 miles. So now I got to figure out what I'm skip counting by here. So let's see. How many sections is it until I get to 35? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 35 divided by 7, or you could think 7 times what equals 35. And we're skip counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So what's 100% of the trip? What's the total trip? 50 miles. Nice. All right, next question. It took 3 hours to drive 240 miles. At this rate, how long does it take to drive 80 miles? All right, so we have, what is this question about? It is about the number of we're traveling and we're trying to figure out how many hours it takes to drive a certain amount of miles. Nice. Let's look for that important information. It took 3 hours to drive 240 miles. At this rate, ratio table. How long does it take to drive 80 miles? All right, what are our two categories? Hours and miles. 3 hours takes 240 miles. All right, at this rate, how long does it take to drive 80 miles? How do I get from 240 to 80? Let's think about that in terms of 24 to 8. 8 times what equals 24? Or we can do the inverse. 24 divided by 8 equals what? 3. So we divided both sides by 3 to get there. What I do to one side, got to do to the other. 3 divided by 3, how much is that? 1 hour. So it takes 1 hour to drive 80 miles. Wow, they're going fast. 80 miles per hour. Next question. There are 15 pieces of fruit in a bowl, and 6 of them are apples. What percentage of pieces of fruit in the bowl are apples? All right, so 15 pieces of fruit, and 6 are apples. And we know that we're doing percentage. What are percentages out of 100? And we're thinking we have 6 out of 15 are apples. How would I write that as a fraction? 6 out of 15. 6 over 15. Fractions are what? Division. So 6 divided by 15. You can use your calculator. 6 divided by 15 equals 0.4. Am I done? I just put 0.4%. No, so I need to have it out of 100. So I need to multiply that to get it be out of 100. 0.4 times 100 equals 40%. 40%. All right. Lynn runs laps around a track in 6 minutes. Runs 5 laps around the track in 6 minutes. How many minutes per lap is that? How many laps per minute is that? And at this rate, how long does it take to swim 21 laps? All right. So first things first, how am I going to set up this problem? What number goes under minutes? 6. And under laps? 5. Great. First, I'm going to figure out how to get from 5 to 1, figure out how many minutes per lap, per 1 lap. 5 to 1, how do I get there? 5 divided by 5, what do I do to one side? Got to do to the other. So 6 divided by 5 equals 1.2. Nice. Now we need to think about how we get from 6 to 1 to figure out how many laps per minute, per 1 minute. So 6 to 1, divide by 6. What do I do to one side? I got to do to the other. 5, make sure you put the correct number first. The top number, the first number. And we get a number with a repeating decimal, 8.3333 repeating. We're just going to round it to the nearest hundredth. So to round to the nearest hundredth, underline that hundredth place value. I look at the place value to the right. Does that round up or down? That rounds down. So we round that to 0.83 laps per minute. And for that last one, we need to figure out how long it takes Lynn to swim 21 laps. Oh, is it easy to get from 0.83 to 21? No. Is it easy to get from 5 to 21? No, I can't do that quick in my head, but I could do 1 to 21 pretty easily. How do I get there? Times 21. What do I do to one side? I gotta do to the other. 1.2 times 21. 25.2 or 25 and 2/10. Great. Let's make sure that we have all of our answers for N. So how many minutes per lap is that? Minutes per 1 lap? 1.2 minutes per 1 lap. And now how many laps per minute? Per 1 minute, 3 laps. And finally, how long does it take to swim 21 laps? 25.2 minutes. Fantastic. Next one. A car is traveling at a constant speed. Ooh, that's a word that we've been using. Constant speed. The table shows how far it travels in some amounts of time. What is the speed of the car? All right, so we have 2 hours and 84 miles. Oh my gosh. Silly mistake. And I need to figure out the amount per hour. Per means what again? 1. How do I get from 2 to 1? Divide by 2. What do I do to one side? I gotta do to the other. I can use my calculator. 84 divided by 2. 42 miles per 1 hour. Nice work. Question 6. Which weighs more, a watermelon that weighs 7.5 kilograms or a baby that weighs 12 pounds? Explain your reasoning. Note that 1 pound is about 0.45 kilograms, right? 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms. So I'm going to figure out how I'm going to get from 1 to 12 pounds. 1 pound to 12 pounds. Times by 12. What I do to one side, I do to the other. 0.45 times 12, 5.4 kilograms. So let's make sure that we have this correctly labeled. A watermelon, I'm going to do green for watermelon. Watermelon is 7.5 kilograms. And how much does the baby weigh? 12 pounds, but how much is that in kilograms? 5.4 kilograms. So who weighs more? The watermelon. I know this because first I converted pounds to kilograms. Next, I multiplied each side by 12. 7.5 is bigger than 5.4. And last question. On Saturday, Elena read 40% of a 225-page book. And Jada read 45% of a 200-page book. Who read more pages that day? All right, so we need to think first. Let's pay attention to Elena. What's 100% of her book? What's the total number of pages in her book? 225 pages. Awesome. And let's see, how can we easily get from 40% to 100%? It's by skip counting by tens, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And then I'm going to be thinking to myself, what did I have to divide that by? 100 divided by what equals 10? 100 divided by 10 equals 10. Split it up into 10 sections. So I got to do the same thing to the other side. 225 divided by 10 is 22.5. So I'm going to skip counting by 22.5. And I can just keep adding 22.5, which is 45, and plus 22.5, which is 67, 0.5, plus 22.5, 90, and I only have to get to 40%, which was 90 pages. All right, now let's do Jada. So Jada has 100%. How much is 100% of her book? 200 pages. And we have it split up into 20 sections. So 100 divided by 20 equals 5. We're skip counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. I only have to get to 45%, so I'm going to pause right there. I do one side, I got to do the other. So I did 100 divided by 20, which equals 5. Now I'm going to do 200 divided by 20, which equals 10. Skip count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 45%, 90 pages. So who read more? Neither read more because they both read 90 pages. Awesome. You are going to do so awesome on our test tomorrow. Good work.